Hey, 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 YouTube, interwebs, all you crazy cats and kittens. This is Anthony Sica again with his Merry Men doing movie reviews from 90s action films. Tonight, we're going to be looking at 1993's Demolition Man, starring Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Benjamin Bratt, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Leary, and you can't forget the acting chops of Rob Schneider in this film. Anyway, tonight we have Mr. Jeff Rankin. Say hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
We got Daniel Driscoll.
What's up,
Darth
everybody?
Driscoll.
Yeah.
And we got the simply incredible shrinking man, Daryl. How you doing, Daryl?
Greetings. What is your boggle?
Hey, what's everybody's boggle? Hey, we're talking about Demolition Man. Jeff, you see Demolition Man in the movie theater when it came out?
Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
All right. How about you, Daryl?
No, Mom wouldn't let me.
How about you, Daniel? Were you born yet when this came
Yeah, I
out?
was born, but I certainly didn't see it in theaters.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
Too young.
the tale starts out with a police officer named John Spartan chasing Simon Phoenix. He's got a bunch of hostages. It's like hey, Daniel, it always comes up. I still see echoes of Batman. It's like Batman and the Joker. A bomb goes off. Agent DeCamp. Agent DeCamp made a appearance on the chat. Agent, you can come on, man. I'll let you on. It's all good. Just come on in.
You can do it.
You can do it. Anyway, we'll just be smaller boxes. We're not very attractive anyway, so it's all good. But anyway, guys, this movie, it's John Spartan. He gets blamed for the explosion, killing the hostages. I think there was like 35 or 40 or something like that. Anyway, and the good justice system then blames him for it too. And they both get put into a cryo prison. I think they come out in Gentleman 2036. They get put in 1996.
2032.
Yeah, 2032.
2032. Thank you. That's why I asked.
That's a different president.
They are now in the city of San Angeles, not Los Angeles anymore, but San Angeles. And it's a merger of Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara. There was a huge earthquake which killed John Spartan's wife. And then, Simon Phoenix gets defrosted, paroled, and he breaks out because he's been kind of mentally conditioned by an evil nemesis called Dr. Cocteau, or I don't know if he's a doctor, but Cocteau, I believe is his pronunciation. And he pretty much runs the city of San Angeles, and he pretty much defrosts Simon Phoenix because he has a job for him in mind, and that is to kill Edgar Friendly, who is the leader of the Scraps, a bunch of people who live underground and kind of, really kind of make a mess of things. In fact, we're gonna take a second, and we're gonna see how many copyright things I can get by showing a little snippet.
According to Cocteau's plan, I'm the enemy because I like to think, I like to read, I'm into freedom of speech, freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who sits at the greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steaks with a jumbo rack of barbecue ribs at the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen this. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas, drinking a banana broccoli shake, singing I'm an Oscar Mayer week.
I think that's straight out of one of his stand-ups.
Yes. And what's great is that is the perfect thing, because Edgar and the Scraps, they want their freedom. And in the current world of San Angeles, there is no individual choice. There is no freedom. They are not allowed to eat meat. They are not allowed to have children without a license. They are not allowed to engage in sexual activities.
That's bullshit.
They cannot curse. They cannot curse. And they definitely can't run around the streets covered in green jello. And I do like that green jello rock band reference there, with a Playboy magazine. Now, in fact, they can't curse, right? I mean, every time they curse, they get the little buzzer going off and fining them. So Edgar is the way. He is the freedom, which has been taken away from everyone. And that's it. I want to let you guys go. I want you to talk. I want you to give me your opinions about the movie. I've spoken enough. Tell me your favorite parts, and we'll go from there. Mr. Jeff Rankin, I'm going to put you in the hot seat.
All right.
And I want you to talk about your reflections on the movie and your overall love or distaste for everything in it.
I'm a huge, first off, Stallone fan. Now, I was also a huge Wesley Snipes fan. What was crazy about this movie is, from the very beginning of the scene, it was action-packed right out of the way, right? So to say, for me, if there was anything that I didn't like, I thought the movie kicked ass all the way through and through from the beginning to the end. I loved every one of the characters. I thought they all portrayed who they were extremely well. Sandra Bullock did an amazing job acting like a ditz. However, she knew about modern day versus just like the current future of times, right?
Hey, I'm gonna take a second to say hello to Agent DeCamp. What's up, Agent?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
If anyone hasn't met Agent DeCamp's been doing some streams with me, and I think he did something with Simply Incredible and with Daniel. And I don't think he's met Jeff yet. But anyway, Jeff, sorry to interrupt you. We're going to go back to you.
Be well.
Yes, be well.
So yeah, I mean, I just loved everything about it. Now getting to like some of the parts, I think the way that they actually just did the story, with like the bodies at the very beginning of the scene, the myth being missing and how he went into the cryo state and then coming out 40 some odd years later. I think it was 96 when he went in under. Just everything I just loved. I like the way that they were like, it takes a maniac to kill a maniac, right? You heard that a couple times through the line. And, not to get too crazy about how, today's day and age on how things are, right? But it was really kind of interesting how this movie came out in 1993. And all these crazy things that we thought were like, this could never happen. It was like, wow, are we really at risk for certain things? And I thought that like Dennis Leary being like the group underground, just trying to get food, just the very basic necessities. And then you have the rich and famous and all the, elite basically trying to eliminate a lower class of individuals.
Gee, that sounds so far-fetched.
It's very crazy, right? This is the thing that I thought was freaking priceless, though. Toilet paper. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there was a recent time where we had a toilet paper limit where there wasn't any to buy. So in the movie, they didn't believe in toilet paper, and supposedly there was 3 seashells. I still don't know how those 3 seashells are supposed to work, but I did love the point, how the toilet paper that they didn't have that. I could go through every scene in the movie. I don't want to take it over too much, but Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes, what an incredible job as being the villain, right? He was believable. His personality, the way he just came through, murder, death, kill. Don't you have a job to do? The way he just did, man, he just was relentless and wanted to kill, but he was intelligent villain. He knew how to eventually break things and get to doing exactly what he wanted to do, basically kind of like getting his own gang back. Getting on to Stallone, though, I thought it was really priceless how he was, how they were getting these downloads for special skill sets. And his special skill set was to be a seamstress. Out of all the badass things you can do, he could knit a sweater, right? And he just did all these crazy things. And I just thought it was a great, funny spin on the movie. And then finally, another part that I really enjoyed was that supposedly you're not allowed to have meat or any kind of like those byproducts. But yet, what's the number one chain restaurant that's known for chicken, meat, and everything, right? Taco Bell. That was just great. I mean, if I would have came up Cryo State and you would have said, "Hey, we're going to go to Taco Bell for dinner," I would have been, "Hell yeah, give me the freaking chalupa, the burritos."
Yeah, but
extra
in '96, Taco Bell wasn't as popular as it is now, and I don't think they were serving any meat in the Taco Bell. They were eating like salads and shit.
Yeah, it was crazy
because they didn't have any rats.
It looked like snot on that little silver plate, right?
It was the guac. All they had is guac left. So
yeah, right.
And no rats. Hold the rats.
I do have to say my favorite scene though, and then I'll pass the buck here, is the museum. Simon Phoenix knew what he wanted, and there was one thing a villain wants, right? Supposedly there's no guns that are around because they've all been taken away. I wonder what that sounds like.
Yes.
So he goes to the museum where it's the only place to find guns, and throws that dude through the window. How much you weigh? Wham! Throws him all through there, and he finds all these amazing guns. And he found that one futuristic gun. That was the one that kind of threw me for a loop. The futuristic one, you had to hold it for a certain period of time in order for it to charge. That seems like it would be something in 2065 or something. However, they had the primitive weapons like the shotguns and all that, right? But that scene was just, I loved that whole fight scene throughout that whole thing. It was done so doggone well.
Why were the guns in the museum loaded?
That was a question. I thought about that. I don't know if they were necessarily loaded. Now, the electrical one was, right? But remember, Simon Phoenix, he threw on those shotgun shells?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think he was loading it. And I saw, you saw Sylvester Stallone, he was loading up that shotgun as well.
Yeah. Well, he also borrowed the gun in the museum. He said, "Let me have this, Rambo."
Yeah.
That was great.
So.
Yeah. But, you kind of bring up a big point, why were there live bullets in the museum?
Because it was barely an inconvenience.
Right.
It works for the plot.
But absolutely loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you to take this job and shovel it.
All right. Let's blow these guys.
Let's blow them. Blow them good.
Anyway, next up, we got the lovely Darth Driscoll.
I've never been called lovely before.
Well,
so
it's about damn time.
I like the rims on my car, so I'm going to steer clear of all of the plot holes in this movie, and I just speak to. It's an interesting time. The more that we do these 90s movies podcasts, to kind of see like this 93 time was kind of like a weird pivot, right? So you have your movies that stand out for their time frame, and everything that comes after it kind of looks like it, and for the next ones and stuff. And I was picking up on some themes that you see get borrowed for the movies to come or borrowed from the movies before. Like you had made the Batman reference, right? When 89 Batman came out, everything after that was 89 Batman. And it was actually the same year that Batman Returns would have came out. But I actually think this is a widely different movie than that original Batman theme. But oddly enough, I felt like it was very, very similar to the Schumacher Batmans that would come. Like Wesley Snipes' character, Simon Phoenix, is very heavily. You can see some resemblance in Jim Carrey's Riddler later on, right? That spastic energy and the fascination with the toys, as he puts it, and that. And then the final scene in the cryo chamber, if that's not Batman and Robin, like clearly Schumacher was paying attention. He really liked that movie. But yeah, it kind of, to build off of what Jeff said of the social narratives of it. It's kind of funny. We did barbed wire and the talk about the virus that wiped everything out. And then in this movie, Los Angeles is the hub for, the elite society and the censorship of society. No guns, no meat. I think you could eat a Taco Bell today and you still wouldn't be eating meat, but that's beside the point. But yeah, it was really cool. I mean, the only thing I think I could have done without was Stallone's version of the opening scene to Barbed Wire while he's getting frozen in the ice. That was a little weird. I didn't need that striptease, but yeah, no, it was fun. It was a fun movie. Sandra Bullock was goofy and laughable and fun, and Dennis Leary's character was great and everything like that. But like I said, I'm gonna take up too much time and get the other guys to get their input too.
All right. Well, hey, as a note, my Wi-Fi is going in and out, so if you guys lose me, just keep talking, all right? Because that's the way StreamYard works. What's up, Simply Incredible?
What up? For me, I mean, my first thought was Batman, and I felt so much like Wesley was somewhere between Joker and Riddler, and I loved every second of him on the screen. I thought it was phenomenal. Even that point where he had the striped pants rocking, I was like, that is classic DC comedy movie, and I love that. Gosh, I don't know where else I can go from where you two have gone. The character development I thought was very good. I did read something about the seashells, but it was very disgusting. Very, very disgusting. 2 seashells spread in one wipe. That's disgusting. Yeah. I don't know. It's gross. But, gosh, I mean, why they really wanted Edgar Friendly dead so bad just still kind of blows my mind that you'd get the worst of the worst to come out. And then on top of that, you bring his whole gang with him, including the mayor, the governor, Jesse Ventura, which he just kind of sitting over there in the corner. And
do you know Jack Black was in the movie also?
I did not even notice that.
Jack Black, one of the gang members.
Huh.
In the background. Yeah.
And he trapped that whole group with that one tent outside the Taco Bell. I thought that was like, what? Really? The entire group he caught with one net. That was great. But my favorite scene in the movie, I think the same with him, was the museum. Yeah. Or you know what? Maybe just before that, when they sent all the police officers to get Wesley Snipes out there, Simon Phoenix, and he's just typing away, then looks and then types away, and he just takes them all out like that. And I thought that was a really good scene.
Well, the police were defunded, and and at that period in our history in the future, the police can only talk to the criminals. They cannot touch them or confront them. So they're to talk and assess the situation. So
we need you to speak in a more assertive voice, please, and say "or else."
Yes.
Or else.
Yes.
How about Benjamin Bratt when he came back all badass from being with the Straps? All right.
But let me just say one other quick thing. Then I'll go next. But right there, that scene, it really shows Wesley Snipes is a legit martial art bad dude.
Sure.
I mean, that scene right there just really began showing what he can really do, and I love that scene.
By the way, speaking of martial arts, real quick, it was supposed to be Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme in this movie, with Steven Seagal as the star and Van Damme as the villain. That wouldn't have made some money.
No, thank God they had these two guys.
No,
Yeah, terrible. And Lori Petty was supposed to be Sandra Bullock's role.
Tank Girl.
Yeah, but Stallone did not like her, and she was fired after 2 days. But that's a little movie trivia for you. Next up, making his film review debut is Agent DeCamp.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's funny you guys are bringing up the Batman references because DC actually put out the Demolition Man adaptation in comic book form. But yeah, I remember seeing this in the theaters, and it was a wild movie. Saw it with a bunch of friends, and the all-out action. We loved all the action. Like everybody said, Sandra Bullock was beautiful. This is right before she got really big in speed. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Everybody's bringing up favorite scenes. My favorite scene, of course, was the sex scene. I like where she comes out with the two little helmet things, and she hands him a towel. You're going to need this. Like, you're going to have to clean up after yourself. But she sits down without a towel. So I always thought that was kind of cute. I put in the chat that did you ever notice that Batman and Joker are in this movie? They're actually in her office on a shelf. There's two little figurines.
Now that's a real deep dive, Agent. And of course, she's a fan of everything 20th century pop culture.
Yep.
So
like I said, if you look in the background, there's a Joker and there's a Batman figurine.
Very nice. And of course, her name is Lenina Huxley. Mm-hmm. And Huxley, of course, from Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Yes.
And Lenina was the main character in Brave New World in the book. But, she was addicted to the 20th century. So
yeah. The other thing I did like is I did like the car. I am a kind of a car guy. So seeing the 70 Oldsmobile 442 was nice. I hated what they did to it. And also it was amazing that it would still run, considering that it's been sitting down there so long. But the main problem I had with this movie, even in the theater, was that to me it wasn't in the future far enough, because I don't see how people can totally change society in 30 years like this. Where
just wait.
Yeah. Whereas if they would have made it 60 years, or possibly the next generation where nobody was alive from Spartan's era. But yet he had three people that he knew. He had the warden was the same character. The other guy in the police station, that was his friend. He was the helicopter pilot in the opening sequence. And there was a third one. I think it was another cop, wasn't it? I can't remember. But yeah, there were three people, and like his friend in the police station, he's like, oh yeah, he was the type of cop we needed back then. I really don't see that generation shifting over to this so meekly. You know what I mean?
Well, hot take, Agent DeCamp.
Yeah,
bringing up a plot hole too, but to be honest with you,
a lot how this movie has held up though, comparing it to now. There's a lot of similarities of what's going on now versus what they were talking about in the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean the police being pretty much having their balls cut off.
Yep. The no touching.
Viruses.
Yep.
Climate change, earthquakes, and all that.
Self-driving cars.
And the whole. Taken away. I mean, the whole movie is about freedom and individual rights, which is why Edgar Dennis Leary's character is so important.
Right.
But the thing is I actually think I'm going to disagree with you, Agent. I think actually it won't even take 30 years. I think things like that can change in a matter of 10 years. As we've seen since 2019, the world is drastically different, and I think things can change on a dime. However,
you don't see as much of the public agreeing to it.
Right? Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
No.
I think the public's agreeing to a lot of stuff right now that they don't know anything about. But my point is, I actually think that what you said is right, though, Agent. And that brings up a talking point about the prophetic nature of the movie. Things on the above level, on what we see in the public, will change. But even in the course of 3 months, 3 years, or 30 years, there will still be a dissension of people on the below the surface that are still holding on to the traditions and the freedoms that they've been accustomed to. And again, if that was to happen in America, or it's already happened in other countries, but if that happened to America right now, there would be a bunch of folks living underground or in the woods or somewhere else outside of the society that would be, going against the grain and living the life that they want to live. I got to ask you guys a question, if anyone can chime in. Is the whole San Angeles, is that the only, like, it's a mega city, like Judge Dredd type of ideal, but did they talk about any of the other parts of the United States, or is that only where people are?
No, they didn't mention anything outside of the city.
Okay. So just like every movie that we've reviewed, whether it's Barbed Wire or The Crow or Hard Target, there's only one city in the entire country. Everything else is gone. Because it's true. It's like they're.
Well, I just
every movie
it would have been the West Coast, California,
of course,
with the major fault line there.
Yeah.
I would expect
but I mean,
something in the East Coast.
They don't mention the East Coast. They don't mention the South. They don't mention Europe, or it's weird too. They don't mention communism.
Snake Plissken was in New York around that time.
Yeah,
what'd you say?
Snake Plissken was in New York around.
Yeah,
that
that's
time.
it. It's like Gotham and Metropolis. Nothing affects the other city.
Right.
But every movie that we have reviewed on this channel, there's one location and they don't stray from it, which is weird because modern movies, they're in London on Tuesday and in New York and on Wednesday, and or what's better, they get from place to place in a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes you're in Budapest, and then 5 minutes later you're in San Diego.
Yes.
But let's I want to know what does everybody think of Sandra Bullock in this movie?
Oh, I thought she was fantastic.
She was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said, I think this might have been one of her breath moments that got her into Speed.
I believe that this does predate Speed.
Yep, it does.
And she was a breath of fresh air, I think, on screen. Her character was great. It was funny. She was beautiful, and and Stallone was like, even though somewhat older, he was in. Let's get a little homo now too. I think Stallone was really cut up in this film.
He looked amazing.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't have. I've had a little list when I said it. He looked amazing.
He looked like he just finished working out before every scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
oh god, yes.
Yeah, he was ready to do the hunka chunka.
He was working out. What do you say? The hunka chunka, bump
I was like, what's the hunka chunka?
The Watusi. When he described having sex as the hunka chunka, that kind of like grossed me out. Even the night I saw the film in the theater, it grossed me out when he said that.
Oh, I chuckled.
That's probably not too far off to what it's like, though.
Yeah, that's true. If he would have kept,
that's onomatopoeia for Stallone sex.
If he would have kept the thing on, he would have used the towel.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was almost there. I think that's why he pulled it off.
I know. Well, whatever.
I think that was one of the best things that Sandra did, though. Right? I mean, the way she just came in to that whole line, she's like, and Stallone's face, the way he played the part, it's like she goes, so, I forgot what it was about to be arousal, but she goes, so you want to go have sex? And he goes, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he say with you or with
you?
Yeah. I mean,
no. And then he's getting all set, taking off his clothes, kind of. He's like, "All right, let's do this, right?"
Yeah, I think he was thinking of Rob Schneider, maybe.
Yeah.
I got to ask you something. All that time he was frozen. Did he pee right afterwards, or no? It took a while for him to pee, right? Totally unlike Austin Powers.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, look, Austin peed for like 30 minutes.
Also,
well, that's what they said when he came out of the bathroom about the shells, because they were like, where is he? Oh, we think he finally finished unthawing.
Yeah, that's right. Also, why I got a problem with people unthawing from cryogen. their body and their muscles and everything works fine the minute they get out. You know, they don't have any like rehab time or anything. They're just up and at 'em, you know, after being frozen for many, many years.
Well, it's futuristic.
Yeah. And again, too hard to write that into the script. You guys, Jeff, you talked about, did you mention your favorite part of the film? Favorite?
I did mention it about the museum scene.
Oh, that's right.
But
okay.
Daryl did hit on that one scene that was actually right before that I think probably was the funniest one. He's like, what, 6 of you? With Simon Phoenix there? Like, right? I mean, that scene was just that priceless. He was so you learned how intelligent he was, like right out of the gate. That was kind of the first parts that you were kind of seeing his intelligence level. He's like, oh shit, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Blah, blah, blah. He's doing all the time.
I'm possessed.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And then you got that one officer, not that you can see where I'm pointing, but you had that one officer that was right off to his right. Yeah. And he goes, boom, hits the button, and that freaking first off, I don't know why all those prongs came out that would be electrocuting. What the hell were those things? I mean, that was weird.
They already showed you what they do is they electrify the paint and like burn it off the signs or every time they do it.
Oh, that was for the paint. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Because when they showed you the first time, when they first do the graffiti, that's what comes out and gets rid of it. So that was a setup for it.
Do you did you catch in the
shadowing? I didn't even realize that.
Did you catch? Great. That's very astute, Agent DeCamp.
Yeah,
that's why you get paid the big bucks.
He must have just watched this before the program. That's why
I just watched it for the program and I missed that.
What do you guys think about the radio stations playing the TV jingles?
Oh, yeah.
Green Giant. Oh, these are the greatest songs ever.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Baloney has a person.
Yeah.
And by the way, Benjamin Bratt, when he was in the car, who starred in Miss Congeniality 1 and 2 with Sandra Bullock, talks about, this is my favorite station also. So there's multiple radio stations playing all the same jingles. That's good. Second thing, did you catch the line where they talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger serving as president of the United States?
Yep.
Yep, and
governor or something like that.
Yep. Do you know also a little bit of trivia? When the film came out in Europe, in the movie theaters, Taco Bell was replaced with Pizza Hut, of course, owned by the same company, because at the time in 1993 there were no Taco Bells in Europe, or at least not a lot. So they substituted Pizza Hut so that the Europeans would have a gist of the quality of food, I guess.
Makes me want to do a code 187 right now.
Who wants a beer and a rat burger?
Yes.
All right, everybody enhance your calm. Okay. And what do you guys think about murder, death, kill?
A little redundant.
Yeah, I was gonna say very repetitive, but yeah. I love it.
I want to know how the cops didn't know these codes
because they hadn't seen one.
I know, but still,
we don't know how to deal with this.
They seemed very efficient, and and that's it.
Yeah, we're police. We don't know how to deal with violence.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob Snyder.
Now
throwing up in the garbage can. Yeah.
I have to ask from a first responder on the panel here, Darth. What do you think about that police force?
Is he frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
He's
in the cryo chamber. Oh, there he is.
There I am. I don't know if my Wi-Fi was going out or something. I was trying to
mine's gone out a few times. Anyway, I love Palm Coast Wi-Fi. So, as the first responder, Darth,
that's me.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the aptitude of the police force?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think that speaks to the duality that of the film that Jeff talked about earlier. That it takes a criminal to catch a criminal, you know, that the fact that they had to thaw Stallone out in order to catch Phoenix because nobody there was equipped to ever deal with a criminal like that, which is weird with you know, Dennis Leary and all the guys, you know, in the underground and stuff like that. So obviously that kind of crime still exists. So how do they keep that at bay? But then one guy that, you know, comes out of cryostasis, they can't seem to figure out a way to stop him.
That's a good point.
And also, I think
it's because they're all subjugated enough that when the cops come out and say, "Get on the ground with your hands behind your back, or else," they automatically do it.
it's true.
If only it were that
Especially if they
effective.
firmly say or else.
Yes. Yes.
But also, I think the better police force in this movie was whatever sanitation department was around. Because did you notice how clean San Angeles was?
Yes.
And the horticulture and the landscaping was so beautiful. I think that's really the key to the success of the police force. Should have been, you know, it should have been maintained by whoever was doing sanitation.
I saw lots of good places to play disc golf.
And you're right, exactly. And to be honest with you, did they maintain that there was more than one Taco Bell, or does the whole city, the 3 city wide population of San Angeles, do they all eat Taco Bell? I'm kind of confused.
No, I think that's for the highfalutin people.
Oh, so the fancy people eat Taco Bell.
Yes.
There was no mention of what the normal people eat.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
I kind of gathered that they came together and, you know, they had more than one, but they were all Taco Bell.
Oh, so it was a chain of Taco Bell. That makes sense. I hope.
Well, remember the franchise wars? There was a supposedly.
Oh, that's right.
war.
That's right. Taco Bell won the franchise war, didn't they?
So all the franchises became Taco Bell.
That's right. You guys are amazing. I forgot about that. You know, they did it
here. They were all amazed when they got invited to go to dinner with Cocteau.
Right.
At Taco Bell. They're like, oh, we've never eaten there, you know.
Right.
So.
Okay.
I mean, Sandra Bullock's face when he invited them was priceless.
Mhm.
I mean, she had that look of just pure joy of like a child at Christmas morning. That was great.
Speaking of Sandra Bullock,
Hey, Sandra.
Hi.
here's yo, Sandra, you wanna go get some Taco Bell?
You can tell this is done in '93 because they got the large shoulders on the women.
Yes.
In the jackets.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing I wanted to bring up, did you notice? I'm surprised a lot of people haven't said something about this film, because there is that one scene where Simon Phoenix makes fun of the Asian people going, "Oh, ching chong ting tong," you know,
right.
about them, you know. And then it's like a lot of their outfits seem to be Asian inspired.
Yeah. Well, that's problematic today, but in 1993, God damn it, that's wonderful. Hey, what?
I mean, Simon Phoenix, his wardrobe, I thought was awesome in this. But
Can someone tell me what the hell's going on with Sylvester Stallone's pectoral muscles?
Steroids.
What the fuck is going on
He
there?
was getting ready to go work out.
used.
He was getting ready to go work out for the scene, so he's just a little.
They look like they're ripped to pieces. It looks like a steak that's undercooked. Anyway,
I was kind of thinking paper mache.
here we go.
Yep.
Look at the crazy ribbons and the dildo weapons.
I'm surprised no one got tasered in the backside.
But do you notice for all the crappy stuff going on, they all have the matching sunglasses?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there's a 360 right there.
I got
There's a ton of shenanigans with those batons when the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was not. I will say I wasn't impressed with their insignia. Mm-hmm. Like that badge just looks like a cheap iron-on.
Yeah, it does. Right.
They're like so flat. And by the way, the wardrobe department did not spend a lot of money. But they did recycle these for Stargate. So.
I thought they got them from Janet Jackson.
Oh, that's not. That's
it. I
that's
remember
a good
this
one.
scene.
Yeah, I thought they got the uniforms from Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation video.
That's a good point there. Good point there, DeCamp.
One of the scenes we didn't really spend a lot of time on, and I actually thought was pretty awesome, was the one and only car chase scene where he's chasing Simon Phoenix down in the cop car, and Sandra, he's like, "Here, drive," and Sandra Bullock doesn't know how to drive the car. But that's kind of a modern sentiment too. Put a teenager in a stick shift car.
But wasn't it kind of weird though? I mean, because like it was almost like a flip what they did, because at the very beginning, right, he's like, "Well, I'll drive," and he gets in there and he sees all the gadgets, like, "Shit, you drive," right? And then it's like something as so simple as old school, a brake and a gas pedal, and just manual shift. What? How do you use these things? Right? It was weird,
complicated.
Yeah, then I like at the end when the cop car crashes and it fills with the foam.
Yes. Yes.
So you didn't break any bones, but you suffocated to death. It's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because you notice that when it first happens, it sprays him right in the face too.
Yeah.
It goes plop right in his face. But then when he breaks out, he has like this little cocoon in there that he's all free in.
Maybe that's what Seashell number 3 does.
Yes.
I think there's kind of like a hidden message there a little bit through the movie, right? Talking about the simplistic of tech before technology and times to the complications and frustrations that technology can bring. And then also you can't rely on technology in order to provide you protection for everything that actual modern man can actually do, that we can be so ruthless and so full of rage that technology just can't stop that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Modern versus
giving the movie way too much scientific credit.
I was just like, I just thought there was a lot of action.
Yep.
I like it.
Wait 2.5 minutes, you can shoot a gun.
Well, the thing is, though, with that said, though, is it said you had to wait 2.5 minutes for it to charge, but then I think you had endless shooting with it because he was shooting it multiple times. You just had to wait for it to charge it first.
Well,
I love this thing.
Wait, you shot a hydrant and water came out. Ooh,
yeah, I know. I saw that one too.
Aside from the laws of physics, I don't think it applies to the laws of chemistry either. I like at the end where he can use the stream of ice or whatever it is, the freezing fluid to cut metal, but he can grab the tube with his bare hand to do it.
Well, that, but
clearly it's not cold enough to cut Stallone's hands.
As he was swinging, it was spraying all over him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome.
One of you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of you guys brought up that like how Wesley Snipes, really showed his martial arts. I think that was Simply Incredible.
Well, no, that's what brought him.
That he really was a practicing martial artist.
Yep.
And a few years right after that, there was only one time that this ever came out, and it was the Masters of the Martial Arts, and they held it over in New York, and it was publicized across television, and he got his 8th degree on that show. And like he's like a real deal. Like he's not just a movie star, but he's a movie star that actually does have skills. I was like, yeah, he is. His kicking technique, first off, when I would be kicking something, you would be trying to kick to go through, right? I don't know why he was kicking his foot like up to 8 feet high, like you're going to try to break glass. I mean, great high kick, man! Kick through the damn glass.
It's because he saw a hard target.
That was the part that was written for Van Damme, and they never changed it.
Yeah. Do a split here.
Yep. I'm sure him performing like that in this movie here helped lead into Blade as well. See, I can do Blade because he wanted to do Blade for a long time.
And then he dressed in drag and did Wong Fu.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
With Patrick Swayze.
I wish it's probably, Wesley Snipes should have spent less time training for martial arts and maybe more time learning about IRS and taxes.
Yes. Did he ever pay his taxes in Florida?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Because I don't think he can come here without being arrested.
Nope. He can't get arrested in Florida.
Well, anyway. there goes there's MegaCon.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna do a round table discussion. We're gonna go back to doing some ratings. We're going to we're gonna start with Jeff. Jeff, Rate the movie and give me your closing thoughts, sir.
Honestly, out of 1 to 10, I'm a huge action fan, and I think that the movie, for me itself, honestly, I would probably give it a 9. I thought the plot was absolutely great. I loved the way that they had the characters. The acting on all of them was actually really done quite well. So as far as like now my closing thoughts, I mean, probably one of the best doggone action movies that I've seen, with a wonderful plot and a cast that's absolutely amazing. That a lot of these people that were casted in this movie to this very day have grown up to be very big super celebrities. So absolutely loved it. 9.
Danny boy. I hate to let you down, Jeff, but I gotta have to go with a 5 on this. It was just okay. It just kind of formulaic and it wasn't without its merits, wasn't without its fun moments, right? But I like it like I like a Fast and the Furious movie. Like, okay, we're just gonna switch the brain off. We're gonna watch things blow up. We're gonna watch guns and car crashes and explosions, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna have perfect amount of fun with it. But yeah, definitely a 5 out of 10 is about the best I can give Demolition Man.
Any parting thoughts, Daniel?
No.
Daryl, what you got, buddy?
First off, I mean, Daniel, you really didn't listen to all the depth that was in that movie. We heard it right above me. We heard it. It was deep. It was soul searching. But for me, it's a movie that I really enjoy. If it's on, it's one of those I'm probably not going to pass on. I love the one-liners. There's good action in it. You had parts that I just enjoy seeing over and over. I don't know why. I shouldn't enjoy watching this movie repeatedly. I'm thinking about an 8 on this movie. It's not that top tier for me, but it's not down below that. I've seen it once. That's enough. So each actor and actress brought something to the table, and their contribution mattered to me in the movie because it brought something. So for me, about an 8 on it.
They should never talk about rat burgers. I knew it.
Oh man, I meant to bring up
Agent.
the feature.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a dual rating. I remember when I first saw it in the theaters, because back then, it was you did see stuff like that, but it was like you couldn't get enough of it. It wasn't everywhere, like it is today. So I'd say back then I would probably give it a 10. I mean, you even got to see boobs in it, for God's sake. So there was that one little scene. Oops, I called the wrong number. So there was some touching going on somewhere in this society. But right about now, as an adult, I would probably give it more of a 7. I think it's one of Stallone's better action films. I do like it a lot. I mean, it's a lot better than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Yeah, I'll kind of stick with that rating. It's still like the other guy said, it's something that I would stop and watch. If I happen to be flicking through the channels, it's like, oh, hey, I like this movie. So it's one that can be repeatedly watched. So
between the 1993 gave it a 10, and the 2021 gave Agent DeCamp
a 7.
Gave it a 7.
Yep.
So what is that average? 8.5, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So past Agent DeCamp, put in a cryogenesis prison, comes out in 2021, lowers the rating, and it averages to 8.5.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give my opinion. Gonna put some oven mitts on for my hot take.
One now.
All right, no, it's really not. But when I first saw it, also before I was put in cryogen prison, when I saw it in 1993, the weekend it came out in the movie theaters, I thought it was excellent, but I still wouldn't have given it a 10. I would have probably gave it an 8. And the reason is because I was used to this kind of action from Stallone.
Right.
And as you can tell, his chest is kind of fucked up in this picture too. I don't know what's going on there. He must have tore something at some point. In fact, that boxing movie that he made with Robert De Niro, it looks like his chest is like totally collapsed in that boxing film. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The thing I want to say about Stallone is that this movie was refreshing because it showed Stallone to be more comedic, even though he had been comedic in many roles around this time. But I think 1993's Demolition Man, it was an action movie, but there was a lot of comedy in it. It was like MTV was making the movie, especially with Dennis Leary. And with the Taco Bell and the Three Seashells and Rob Schneider. So my thing is, it really didn't remind me of a typical action movie. And if you look at other things we reviewed, like The Crow and even Barbed Wire, to be honest with you, had more of a darker feel. This was a very campy action movie. And although the action scenes were wonderful, to me, I don't think it was serious enough, and I don't think there was enough fighting and enough car chases and enough action. Whereas other movies that we've reviewed so far from the 90s that we call kick-ass flicks, it seems like it's all action and there's no dialogue. In this movie, Sandra Bullock and Benjamin Bratt and Dennis Leary and Cocteau and all these fucking characters, they talked a lot. And it was a big setup for each action scene. So to be honest with you, my rating has not gone down to below 5, but it is coming in at a 6. I have watched this movie repeatedly over the years, but this weekend, just before doing this podcast, I reviewed it again, and I kind of got bored toward the end. And I now know it's because I've seen it already, but it didn't hold my interest as much as I thought it would, in preparation for this. So with that, my take is that I'm going to give it about a 6. And I would have probably given it a 5, but I want Darth to be the heel in the broadcast.
I'm perfectly fine with being that.
And Jeff.
I need to make a call. Hold on. Don't you have a job to do?
And Jeff is the baby face in the broadcast. He gave it. What did you give it? A 9?
I gave it a 9, but I'm a huge fan. I watched a lot of Sylvester Stallone movies, and I thought it was a very big dynamic change.
Yeah.
5s, God. Don't you?
Well, if Stallone learned how to kick, I would have given him some. If he would learn some karate, I think it would have been better. And again, I'm used to stuff like this when it comes to Stallone, and again, I thought the setups just took too long, and also Sandra Bullock being her first movie, she should have been fully nude in it just to get it out of the way.
She's the one that says she won't do nudity.
Yeah, I know, but she should have done it, and then it would have been a better movie. But anyway, hey, this has been a great broadcast. We have talked about, if you're just joining us, we've talked about Demolition Man, starring Sylvester Stallone, Mr. Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Leary, Benjamin Bratt, Rob Schneider, who, by the way, is uncredited in the cast of the movie, which is funny, and a bunch of other people, Jesse Ventura. Again, my closing statement, I want to just remind everybody, when you're watching Demolition Man, it is prophetic as fuck. We have no guns, no freedom, virus-plagued world where no one can touch each other, by the way. No shaking hands, no hugging, no kissing. Can't have sex. Can't have babies without a license.
No free speech.
No free speech. No
Fuck that.
vulgarity. No cheeseburgers. No cholesterol. No smoking. No vaping. No pot. No coke. No heroin. No pills either. And, and a police force that is totally emasculated. And that's the world that San Angeles is in 2032. Well, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, what do we have? 12 years to get there? Let's try and do better than that movie. With that, I am Anthony Sica, along with Jeff Rankin, Darth Driscoll, Agent DeCamp, the simply incredible shrinking person. You know what? Simply incredible. This isn't the time or place to be promoting my new comic, Misty America, available on Indiegogo with 12 days left. Misty America only on Indiegogo by Anthony Sica. Back it now. But this is not the time and place to talk about that. And the link is not below, but please search for Anthony Sica on Indiegogo. I'm happy to say that all 4 people on this YouTube stream have backed my campaign. I guess because they really like doing YouTube videos. Anyway, my name is Anthony Sica.
Hey, I got one more piece of trivia for you about this movie.
Okay.
Who sang the theme song?
Sting.
Good job.
I am a huge Police fan, so I knew the song Demolition Man off Regatta de Blanc way before I saw the film. And actually, the song was re-recorded by Sting when he was a solo act.
Yes.
But please, if you're interested, anyone watching the video, check out the original Police version of Demolition Man. It's on Regatta de Blanc or Ghost in the Machine. I don't exactly remember, but it was on one of those 2 records, and it is fantastic, the original song Demolition Man. And by the way, in my new comic, Misty America #1, Johnny Cruz, the character, is called the Demolition Man. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, and neither are we. So, hey, peace, love, everyone. God bless. Wubba wubba, as Julie Brown used to